And let's have a closer look at those front pages, starting with the Telegraph, Lewis.
Yeah, good news. Democracy under threat. This is what Rishi Sunak has given a speech. He's given the equivalent. He gave a speech in front of number 10 Downing Street about the threat that's going on to democracy and terrorism and all that stuff. It's like I'm gonna write a very sharp letter. What is that saying with English people?
Like it was written by disgruntled of Tunbridge Wells.
Yes, like it's disgruntled in Tunbridge Wells.
And he seems very disgruntled at George Galloway getting elected.
Yes, which he basically brought on himself. The point is that this guy, Rishi Sunak, nothing personal. I listened to the speech, or maybe the first few minutes of it, and it's the same thing that he's been saying or should have been saying, but he hasn't acted on it, and now he's saying it. There were like riots in the street. And the final thing, the most important thing is that there was a man shouting in the street the entire
I'm so glad I was going to ask, did anybody hear that and what was going on? I was hoping like maybe it's a policeman shouting something important that he has to do. But no, I think it was just a nutter heckling our Prime Minister.
And that says everything you need to know about the Prime Minister. He couldn't even turn, and we said, would you shut that guy up?
So he wants, a more civilised Britain, a Britain where we're united values and stuff, but all the while he's calling for that. An extremist is screaming abuse at him.
It's alleged at this point. We'll have to go back over the footage. Yes, he says we must draw a line. I think he should draw a line. He is the Prime Minister.
He should have just done something.
Well, the thing is, if he says he wants to stop extremism, if he uses the same method he used to stop the boats, extremism is going to explode. There's going to, no pun intended, there's going to be like 20 times as many extremists as there were, which is actually what's going to happen.
People here have been very like today in the channel. People have been very positive because he said all the right things. He's told the police to take a harder line with protesters. Well, everybody wants that. Yeah. But I just felt the tone of it was very reserved.
Yeah, and also he, sort of praised diversity, but also hinted that multiculturalism isn't working, and we all need to be united under one value, like the American system, where everybody's equal under God, and everybody becomes an American. You don't stay in your own siloed, ghettoized culture when you.
Well, we are not allowed to say that multiculturalism hasn't worked, because what people think of multiculturalism, what they really mean is everybody getting along. But that's not what multiculturalism is. Is like you said, in America, everybody in theory becomes an American. And here, you can't have groups of people that hate the town next door. That's what happened during the Angles and the Saxons' time, and look what happened there.
Yeah, but I mean, at least the Angles and the Saxons shared, root basic values. I mean, what we've got now...
They did, but they didn't share the values with the Britons who were already living there, and the Britons were forced to the nether reaches of Wales and Cornwall, and so... this country was completely taken over by the Angles and the Saxons.
Yeah, but that's who we are now. I mean, I think
what he's saying is in 2,000 years or 3,000 years, it'll all be history anyway, which is a very philosophical point for Lewis Schaefer.
So in 1,000 years, we'll be in Islamic caliphate and nobody will be able to complain.
That's not exactly where his point goes.
No, that isn't where my point goes. Where my point goes is that English people who are sitting here all smug and saying this is our country should remember when they took over this country.
Oh, this is an absolute nonsense argument, Lewis. I hear this so many times, always from the Owen Jones types. We should have open borders because we've always had mass immigration. No, we haven't. And
we have, but we've also had massive violence.
We have not had 1.4 million people coming to this country in a year.
But my point is, it's never happened peacefully.
It's absolute nonsense.
No, I'm not arguing with that.
At most, tens of thousands.
Okay,
and also those people tended to come from countries that were nearby, so weren't a huge cultural difference. And
I denounce what you're saying, because you're saying I denounce it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that when the Angles and the Saxons moved into Britain, and they swamped this country and they forced the native people out of most of the country.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm not. If we're going to get into Anglo and Saxonophobia, I think we're a few centuries too late. Anyway.